stock, crypto, credit moves. Good afternoon, YouTube. You back for another video. I want to talk about inflation. We're feeling inflation at the gas pump when we go get groceries. And one of my subscribers asked me, how will this end? Well, in my humble opinion, inflation will never end, guys. We keep printing money. This country is all about borrowing money. And even the money that they give us, we're gonna pay it back some kind of way, like as far as stimulus checks. I knew that was a setup when they were giving us free money, or it's not free money because they take it back some kind of way, whether they take it back via when it's time to file taxes or they hit you in the grocery store. The bottom line is, guys, the government gives away nothing for free. There's always a cost. We're going to pay at one point or another. But as far as inflation, yeah, we just continue to borrow money and we kick the problem down the street. So we continue to add more debt that we can't even manage now. So it's a bad situation and it's not going to get any better. As previously discussed, the price of food never goes down. So maybe gas might come down a little bit, but we just have to learn how to manage this new inflation economy. I don't see things falling. Maybe gas, but as far as housing, there's not enough houses being built now. So I expect for housing prices to stay up for a while. Interest rates may come down some. It's been rising, but I think we just have to get in our minds that there's no relief coming. So we're going to have to increase our income to offset inflation. That's our only option, or we continue to cry. So that's my opinion about inflation. I think things are actually going to get worse in some areas before they get better. And I'm a very positive person. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. But let's look at a couple articles. Let's see what Yellen has to say about inflation. And these people here, they just lie. Nothing they say is ever the truth. They're not going to tell us the truth. So, explainer, why is U.S. inflation so high and when it may ease up? The Federal Reserve didn't anticipate an inflation wave this severe or this persistent. Last year was a nasty surprise and it's not supposed to last, but now inflation has been ongoing financial strain for millions of Americans, filling up at the gas, the grocery store, shopping for clothes, bargaining for a car, or paying monthly rents. That's where they're going to always get their money back. They give you stimulus, but then they beat you in the head in the grocery store. So it was almost like that was a setup. For the last 12 months, and in January, inflation has been around 7.5%. So guys, that's why on my channel, I'm all about I'm trying to find ways to offset inflation so I can continue to live where I live. I can eat what I want to eat. I can drive what I drive. You got to beat this number right here. 7.5% is what your savings should be earning in order to break even. So if you have $10,000 sitting in the bank and this inflation number continues to last, you're losing 7.5% year over year. So from January 2022 to January 2023, if you park $10,000 in the bank, the purchasing power in January 2023 will be $750 less. So you will be your purchasing power of 10 grand will be $9,250 if you leave it sitting in the bank. And I think that's the silent way that a lot of people wealth is being stolen, because they're not understanding that, yes, it's important to have some savings, but you have to take risks with some of your money to beat inflation. So if you're not making 7% a year on your money, you're losing money. Your money is losing value. It's losing its purchasing power. So yeah, by putting money in the stock market or in the cryptocurrency investments or buying crypto and just holding, sure, there's a chance that you're going to lose money, and most likely your value will change. It goes up and down, but at least you're giving yourself a chance to win at some point. If you play it safe, leave your money in the bank, it's going to get eaten up by inflation and your monthly expenses. So that's why we have to try to invest. I'm not saying invest all your money, but you have to take chances with some of your money to beat this ugly ass 7.5%. So the Labor Department said Thursday, even if you toss out volatile food and energy prices, so-called core inflation jumped 6%. That's ridiculous. So how are people supposed to continue to maintain their life if you're getting 6 and 7% increases in cost of operating, but incomes are remaining flat? And that's what's killing us. This was also sharpest jump in 4 decades. It's grim, guys. I like to be honest. I don't see things getting any better anytime soon. Consumers felt the price freeze in everyday routines. Over the past year, prices rose 41% for used cars and trucks. So imagine that. So we're just off a 41% increase. So if a used car was $25,000, now that same used car has jumped to $35,000, but our incomes remain flat. That's what inflation is. It's stealing your purchasing power. So it's either you're going to sit on the sideline or you're going to take some risks to try to make this inflation more manageable, because it's not going away. You can't even afford a used car no more. But if you have a car to trade in or sell, this would be a good time to sell. Actually, I got my car a few years back, and I can actually sell my car for exactly what I purchased it for because of inflation. That'll never happen again. I'm thinking about dumping it just because I can walk away with cash to get something else or dropping it into an investment. Cars are liabilities anyway. So, but after having an economic afterthought for decades, high inflation reasserts itself last year with a brutal speed. In February 2021, the government consumer price index was running 1.7 ahead of its level the year before. Therefore, year over year increases steadily: 2.7, 4.2, 4.9, and 5.3. By October, the figures were 6.2, November 6.8, and December 7.1. This is why we got to take chances. You know, you take educated chances. For months, Powell, he wasn't being honest, and other characterized higher consumer prices as merely transitionary problem. And that's what he kept saying. Oh, it's going to be fine, but no. This is not going away. The result mainly of shipping delays and temporary shortages of supplies and workers as the economy rebounded from the pandemic recession much faster than anyone had anticipated. Now many economists expect consumer inflation to remain elevated well into the year, with demand outstripping supply in a number of areas of the economy. So this is just a good time right now to, like, for us buying houses. It's going to be a struggle because they're not building enough houses. And so that's going to keep the price of houses high, in my opinion. You know, we need more demand. We have more demand than we have houses. That's what runs the price of houses. That runs the price of anything up. Inflation remains the single largest near-term challenge to the economy. No shit. Although prices pressures are expected to ease as the year progresses, inflation will remain above the Fed's 2% target for some time to come. So guys, all I'm saying is try to find different ways to increase your income, because even cutting back on expenses, you can only cut back so far. At some point, you have to increase what you have. The feds have radically changed course. Last month, the central bank signaled that it will begin a series of hikes starting in March. By doing so, the Fed is moving away from super low rates that helped revive the economy in 2020 devastating recession, but also helped fuel surging consumer prices. What caused inflation? Good news. Most of the pandemic paralyzed the economy in spring of 2022. Lockdown and businesses are cut hours and consumers stayed home as a health precautionary. Employees slashed in breathtaking 22 million jobs. So they blaming this all on the pandemic. And I mean, of course, the pandemic definitely didn't help. But one thing about inflation, it's rare that what you pay for cost of goods ever drops significantly. That's just my opinion. That's my humble opinion. The prices that we're paying are not going away. Some things may ease up, but overwhelming, we're going to be paying what we're paying now or higher. How long will it last? Forever. Why they can't just write that at the end? It don't go away. But they're not going to be honest. I'm honest on this channel. It ain't going away. Elevated consumer prices will likely endure as long as companies struggle to keep up with consumers' demand, goods, and services. A recovery job market employee added 6.7 million jobs last year, 467,000 in January. It means that many Americans can continue to splurge on everything from lawn furniture to electronics. They're trying to put people back to work. And a lot of times now, since people have actually found different ways to make passive income, they're not in a rush to go back anymore. So that's a problem. You know, how do you encourage people to come back to low paying jobs? The economy feeds off of people not understanding inflation. But I think a lot of people have woken up now. How higher prices are affecting consumers. A strong job market is boosting wages, though not enough to compensate for higher prices. That's the trap. But I think now a lot more people are aware of what's going on and they're valuing their time with their family. So how is this country going to get Americans to come back to work? That's the question. So I'm not going to continue to ramble, guys. Let's see what this is doing here.
More evidence today of what many of you already know. Prices on everyday essentials are soaring. Inflation rose 7.5% in January from the previous year, exceeding December's 40-year high. The worst spikes coming in food, energy, and housing. Economists largely blame pandemic forces of increased demand and supply chain disruptions. Republicans blame Democrat-led spending bills for pumping too much money into the economy. And today, moderate Senate Democrat Joe Manchin dug in against more federal spending through the sideline.
Don't spend no more money. We're going to pay it back.
And we have basically an economy that's on fire. You don't throw more fuel on a fire.
President Biden speaking in Virginia today, insisting his plans will ease inflation. In a statement today, he says his administration is
how you going to ease it? Yeah, right. Anyways, guys, I'm not your financial advisor. I just want to share what's going on, in my opinion, with inflation. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Until next time, our only option is to increase our income.